Anytime you do it in your second term, you're out.
It has a very direct correlation with that. The last time we went, it happened. And each time we had gone is worse when we were going. At this time, it went, on life support. And Ghanaians consistently have said, at least now the trend shows, that if you take us to the IMF again and it happens in your second term, you're going to punish you severely. John Mahama understands this, but he knows he is going to inherit an economy still with the IMF.
Perhaps even ask for extension.
And ask for extension. And he seemed to appreciate that, at least his body language says it. But his acceptance speech must now communicate that very clearly, in very clear terms, that he appreciates what he's about to inherit.
Look, and in part of the 120 days contract with Ghanaians, he's talked about the dialogue. And I have indicated that one of the things we don't do so well in this country is, engage in participatory development, because everybody thinks that a government comes into office and the government determines, and so people have defined politics to mean, Professor Adams of Gimpa, for instance, said, winning power, then determining what people want, so they vote for you.
Determining what they want.
Exactly. That's what politicians do. They decide what you need to vote for them, and then they give it to you. This is the departure I want to see. And so Mahama is talking about having this dialogue. He did it with the Senchi. He's talking about having a dialogue, and this is in his first 120 days. The dialogue should show where we want to go as a people, what all of us are prepared to sacrifice. Because if we want to turn this thing around, we must be prepared to sacrifice. It mustn't only be the people outside the political class who sacrifice, because in this country, consistently, we have said, let's bite the bullet. While we're biting the bullet, the man who is advocating the biting of the bullet has no bullets and has no biting. So this time around, we need to
tighten the belt.
And that man who is advocating tightening of the belt
doesn't even have belt hold.
He doesn't have belt hold, so he doesn't tighten anything. Like we've stated, having been president before and having been voted against and not seeking re-election, John Mahama has nothing to lose. This is the time to build a legacy. And I say Ghanaians should at least, let's hold on. And I'm happy Barnier talks about not being a disruptive opposition, even though he would hold government accountable. Let's offer solutions. Let us not be, the country where you go into a position right from day one, you are criticizing and condemning everything a government does. You must offer your support, because someday, and the evidence will show that, look, we will come back here, we'll come back again here if we all have life. If not in 4 years, in 8 years, to be talking about changing government again.
Prof, an extension to his argument. You see, what's the name? Dialogue, participatory.
Vos exploits sportifs en mieux. Découvrez nos montres connectées sur crefel.be.
Crefel, la vie en mieux.
Cofidis, l'expert du crédit. 100% en ligne. De la simulation à votre demande en quelques clics. Rendez-vous sur cofidis.be.
Don't want to talk about what they are going to do because of victimization. So honestly, we are human beings and we have voted for you, and we believe that what you have preached you do is what has lured us into voting for you. Look, if you have problems addressing or achieving the objectives within specific timelines, be honest with Ghanaians. This is it. And we've seen that in the development world. True. Transparency in their government. Look, this is what is happening, so we are going to do A, B, C. We take these austerity measures, we'll do this, we can meet our deadlines, and people will bear with them. But here, they will deny it. The people expose it. This is what I'm going to. They say it's not true. But you are not going to what I'm going to do. So I think we have to reintroduce sincerity in our politics and be very transparent and be very open with challenges. And you see that Ghanaians will support you.
What you said, Prof, was the point I wanted to make. If John Dramani Mahama does not fix all of Ghana's economic problems, and I know any person with reasonable expectation in this country knows that he will not fix all of our problems. But if he's honest with the people, if he's truthful, if it's not politics as usual or business as usual, if he's not saying, oh, these are our problems collectively, then his appointees are riding along in our V8, misbehaving all over the place, wasting our resources, and doing the very things that people abhor. He will get support. There are things that people hate in this republic, and they have stated it consistently. And not just people merely because they run around, they purport to wear military uniforms like those who are claiming that they are taking whatever position they are taking now. Young men who have not done anything useful beyond campaigning, all of a sudden become rich people overnight merely because a party is in power. They get to own all of the houses, all the big places. People who were your classmates and are not the best of the best to start with are now doing everything. These are things that people would oppose, and let's not get it wrong. But if he departs from these ways, if you are not seeing the elements where you end up, you are going into a campaign, they are sharing those, what's the name of those cars, the small ones that is it 2012 or 2016? They were sharing, I've forgotten the name of those. Yes, the small cars. They were sharing on campuses to girls. I mean, see, if those things do not happen, Daniel see and they can identify.
Hello, good evening. All right, I'm Sana Obe Kasano, Ebusian from Makwaba, Ediba Dazi TV, and Danko Kuyabwa TV, all of them on YouTube. And in the next few minutes, in the next 15 minutes, John Dramani Mahama, and Ghana for Bekasa. In Tisabrim, I'll be a Mamin Piki will call we. Please, good evening, where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Spain.
You are calling from Spain?
Yes.
First 100 days, a debate or person John Dramani Mahama.
Oh, my dear, for the first thing Mr. John Mahama will do for Ghana is accountability. Because now Ghana need money. They need money.
Which country are you from?
I'm calling from Spain.
Spain, are you a Ghanaian?
I'm a Ghanaian. I'm a Ewe.
Oh, okay.
I'm from Vota. I'm from Vota.
Vota region, all right. Beautiful.
Country without accountability is a wrong country. So they have to pay accountability for those who are going out now. That's the first thing. And then the second one is we have a 16 region. Only Accra cannot be a region that everybody will come and survive. So they have to put their eye on all the regions, so that everybody in that region, both regions, can get job to do. Okay. That's my plan, my mind. So we congratulate Mahama, and we thank the voters, those who vote for the change, because Ghana will have more job to do. We have a lot of job to do in Ghana. We love Ghana. If Ghana good, we will never travel.
I have to pick a call from here.
Okay.
Right.
So
thank you very much for your call. And also, I in the next 15 minutes, John Dramani Mahama about addressing the nation. So be say in the first 100 days, JM should please focus and try hard to continue the road network he left, because previous government messed up with the road network system. It has been affecting us. And secondly, he should see the BET network tax be removed for us. Thanks for coming. Agent X, I think that the president has already promised that the first 120 days he removed the betting tax and everything. But especially, like as I said, Ghana, we are patient. We have attitude of not continue the previous work. Share quite poor muyi ewo. Share Kaswa dualization Accra to a Uniba, and then Pokwasin Sa road in the Muja idea and then the Accra no Kumasi the Yewu. And it dear so Mahama so Ashabo said won't make sure say project Bia Aban Aya Obetwaso. But you know politicians, sometimes they will say some of these things, but then Oba power pet no we jai. What I say, inti Yemon Pai say President Sana Oshe Bono obetumi adan ediso. But me messages in the be add and what has he. More than me reading messages in the be add and what has he. Now enche in the next 11 minutes, 10 minutes, you know, the president elect John Dramani Mahama will be speaking to the nation. Ni acceptance speech, you know. Na nemo eden indi hu komo kakra. Na sabre me hu say his residents, you know, the special aid, you know, kasa enti yenko nkotie ne special aid no the exclusive interview on the Joy News for have your ba your best side atwaso.
The 1 million then, the 400,000 then, and today John Mahama has gotten way above the extra 1.4 million votes between the two gentlemen. And then the second thing is also the fact that he kept referring to John Mahama as a one-term president. Today, the good Lord has made it possible to secure a commanding second term for John Dramani Mahama. So for all of us who serve John Mahama, who have worked for him all these years, we are enormously grateful to the people of Ghana. You know, we don't take this lightly. And you can see that today Mr. Mahama is almost extremely calm. It is a very, very humbling experience. Boss, 56% and more. It has never happened before, certainly not in this Fourth Republic. And I think that is phenomenal.
Like you rightly said, many have described it as an emphatic, resounding, and a landslide victory.
Commanding.
Okay. A lot of adjectives.
More.
Okay. Tell me, does it put any burden, on him as he prepares to take over the reins of government?
Maxwell, of course. Look, I'm sure all of us realize that there is a certain urgency to the matter. The country is literally bankrupt. We have a public debt of 760 billion. We have an exchange rate of close to 17 cities. And let me tell you something that happened over the last few days. You know what's happening, that the city is actually stabilizing? So change is good. And I know that at the bottom of all our problems is a really, really, really terrible economy. If Mr. Mahama's modesty alone can be brought to bear on the challenges that are facing the city, I have no doubt in my mind that very, very soon things will definitely be improving. Look, I'm really elated. I'm excited. I'm humbled. I thank the good Lord that I am actually part of this historic event, this historic journey, this historic opportunity. And I used to tell Mr. Mahama that all of our enemies are watching. Make no mistake. This is something that we need very, very, very badly. And today, to the glory of God, John Mahama is the man to beat. And Nana Jeno Pokwajiman making history as Ghana's very first vice president-elect, a female, no less.
He has a 120-day social contract with the Ghanaian people. And we've seen quite a number of things when it comes to that. One says that he would scrap the e-levy, the betting tax, quite a number of them within 120 days. You have talked about the challenges that, is present now. Do you think it's going to be possible within 120 days?
When the good Lord decides to bless you, he gives you all the material things that you need to ensure that that blessing comes to fruition. Today, he has a commanding lead in Parliament, over 180 members of Parliament. So he has beyond the 2/3 that is required. And I am certain that that 2/3 majority will be put to very good use. Don't forget that we have a constitutional review process that is pending. This is a great opportunity. To talk about all the nuisance taxes, this is a great opportunity. To talk about COVID, betting, e-levy, name it. This is a fantastic opportunity. And Ghanaians have told us that the acrimony of the hung parliament is something they don't want to see again. So this is actually a referendum on the failure of Akufo-Addo and Bawumia. And today, Bawumia represents the disgrace that Akufo-Addo has brought to a new patriotic party.
Finally, before you go, they say, elders say that when your neighbor's beard is on fire, you get closer to a water source. What lessons is the NDC taking from what has happened?
Maxwell, you know me. I think that all of us who serve JM try as much as possible to emulate him. Humility, respect for those who put you in office, compassion, give people their liberties and their freedoms. Be sure to lead by all means, but show compassion in your leadership. Be moderate, be decorous. Above all, respect the fact that it is the grace of God that brings you and puts you here. So I think that His grace is sufficient for us.
Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you very much. And thank you to all of you. God bless you. Thank you, sir.
God bless you too. So I just heard from the spokesperson for the John Mahama campaign, Joyce Bar Mokhtari, speaking to us there. But the top brass of the NDC is here currently. The President-elect John Mahama should be arriving here at his party office in Cantonments shortly, and he'll be addressing the nation at exactly 7 o'clock. But on the days here, you can see on my right hand side, we have the chairman of the John Mahama 2024 campaign, Professor Joshua Allen.
Cambotsola, taste the extraordinary. Ce mois-ci, Ixina offre la TVA de 21% à tous ses clients. Ixina, oui à vos rêves.
Chairman of the NDC, also in your shot is former Chief of Staff Julius Debra, also there on the days. General Secretary Fifi Kwete also up there on the days. And we can see the minority leader Kasiala Tufosin. Let's get closer and have interaction with them. Seated closely to him is former Speaker of Parliament Edward Doe Ajaho. Let's speak to the former Speaker of Parliament. Well, he's not ready to speak at this point, but we also have former Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu here with us. Mr. Idrisu, you're welcome to join us.
You want me to stand?
Oh, no, you can sit. Feel free. You can sit.
Yeah,
Tell
thank
me,
you.
what is the mood like in the camp of the NDC?
Cautious ecstasy. Cautious ecstasy. We are very excited, but we know that given the state of the economy, Excellency John Dramani Mahama will inherit, it will be very challenging. And we have a duty to meet the expectations of the Ghanaian public, given the extraordinary votes and confidence they have reposed in him. He has to work to justify it with humility.
Na akwakoye say ni de ye ne honorable se de sa na ye befre no Honorable Kwame Asare-Oben ye ne na bonkomo aka anade unim A+. One ye ne no abo enkomo efa
United Showbiz me nyanja ye
e na me ba obeba sa wo ho ana nka me be kan se mo obeba Saturday no nkomo ni nyina wo bi de
say ye ko parliament
yes
omo kan se nyina na me de betena YouTube Ghana fuei omo bewia mu me suba me de tikrom ha se nkwa
this time ni ona me question be na me say we independent candidate say e ko basa asem no e da ho he na be kwa kogina
me gina ne beboa Ghana
ye beboa Ghana
na apart from ne beboa Ghana me gina ne beboa gomu a
abusuafo ye nya aboafo nkrato emra na abato ne koso no ede ne de na wo ye yesan se duru abato se ya eya na emu oden pa abato ne koso no enioma be na huhu ye ana wo hyeda ye special thing bi ewo emu yesan se wo hwe se de numbers ni si ba ya ka sa se enkrofo anto aba eno na ma wo fa ho sanse ni nim se afane mienu nyina no omo wo nkrofo ewo Gomua Central ho
me da se me chia wahwefo nyina Yesu Kristo ba wi asna Pharisee no ni ade no mo nipa ho deda but also to me ballroom and from day one na me nim say me win election because na me hwe constituencies according emra no ma me ho kwan say me to me contest enti no me research and research in the very clear say Gomua Central MP no ho no omo mpe no
okay
yeah enti na answer na me dem na isi wo kura say me contest no my research change or retain like MP no mo pe na mo mpe no na team na kwa around that research am I hu say 70% of the people are looking for change. They don't want the MP on one case MP no ya aware so we had to go in there and start working and now what the people want. You say if area ha basi ha no this is their problem. If you importer ediba basi to say you find say brofidu the biggest issue are omo e your monsa system and ko fi see o mache ya jo monsa ache this week maybe ya action bi a omo hu bi da for so many years ya nsase ankrofo afa kotikwan so agents as in and we are going to retrieve all of it we are going to establish that those areas belong to us because it is the promise that I made to the people. The BNE, I see a friend in New Winneba. This week, here, the signboard, go more simple signboard, now, catch on, the best or you go more. When you futu for asase, and when we started the campaign, I made catch from said this is what we're going to do, you know. Then Afenyo Markin and his people were doing all kind of skirmishes, but we knew exactly what was on the ground. That from Mpota all the way to Brofiedu, their land is the issue. Oba a chance for be brief, asebu. Omunyina won saso, they have huge issues with it. And him said the road network go more central, Kwan Papa ba kukureni ho, not one. Kwan Papa ba kwan ho eno na ye motorway so nyina tutu e potholes nko and you know I knew that the roads were their issue. We don't have toilet facilities. They have issues. So we did a needs assessment of the whole constituency. Who say Gumwa Central no enoma ehia wo hanie enoma ehia wo hanie enoma ehia wo hanie and it has worked. Apart from that, your principle idea, you might Jesus Christ principle. No? Anybody who wants to be a great leader, the greatest leader in this world as we live today, Jesus Christ. Christo some also saying Osumbia, Christo some the leader in Jesus. And this all say we need nipa mo do a China obey a great leader. I was so share Jesus Christo, the principle now or the Nancy, you know. And that is something that has really worked for us.
Yes, say what bobo and your man who do Udia siwani so. When nyina no eye de wutu anamo ene ni kire ya te signboard de also di kosi wo na wotwi mu anase yemfa ne say efri sabre ye ekọ wo de signboard ni kosi wo waka toilet facilities a omunso eni akwan waka ho asem omunsa asesem waka ho asem ugidi say eno ne to wo mu tirim e mo to abane ma wo ana enyoma bi so ka ho
enye asama ya ka kra be to bi trimu keke but enyoma ya ye
okay
my provided enyoma bebre among crofo bebre asama na intina me can say Jesus Christ principle no eye adwuma Jesus Christ be wi ase no o se obenyane ewufo or the Lazarus example ose obema aduane ebu no ama bread na fish na bebre na crofo edi in the constituency no yanko kasa keke but ya ye adwuma bebre no ya say your friend is saying nya ware kotoda no so say obere kra yanje ni chim once yankasa ye new roads, virgin roads, ye connected towns like Kruba quite unconnected ever since in the history of like those towns, like 300 years ubian to come free and famba hada and ebekache Gomwa for say we are capable of building new roads in Gomwa. We should be able to link these two towns. And to once a year to me, I yes idea no dia chiro mono. Omo who say no. Obi on ba bem kra na etuma yakwan na so chino ba bem near the drip machines ni nyina mana then obeye nyoma bebre. So these are a normal year apart from that no. Sorry from Jesus Christ time. And your fish and captain di yesu echi. Akotren so no so the whole night one fish. Jesus say fast on go right or chief fish ni we
baby or chief fish ni kwa na okọ yesu anya nam no
yes or chief fish ni we no say efin na ko meja me bibia na madi wachi nipa bia hia ne obedi bread and butter issues are very important it yan no na Roman Catholic na Methodist na sancrophone na omo ba omo kuta Tom Brown omo kuta milk powder omo kuta we omo de ba because come the nipa no and we made sure say so many towns and ma omo digwa your moms come from ko ye adwuma they needed it at that time. Because I'm sure you say so we had to support them. A lot of women and your loan, we just gave them money, and we will come back and check your ujis kaso kotanka, ubeso tonka ankano he, any ukankano to botoba saying, and you'll be a better mama, and your man crofu here, and your man kitchen anka, it be 100 ninano a year, 150 Ghana cedis, bottle. 100 ebia obi wo ho a ohieska obedi wechi sa we bi sense opeda so oye banku market no pe eburu rubber mienu rubber ba ko yesen 50 Ghana into ohia 100 Ghana de koto eburu wo de sa sika no e ma no kofa eburu betena market no ka ne banku a na brabo asesa into no these are the basic enoma obeya abo nipa e pese a politicians and so mutrimu aye den acha dodo we can help all these people and that is why the people are following us and they are going to follow us more.
What's say enkabomu?
Yes. Enkabomu who here.
Okay.
Yentumemfa obi a one supporting yen. Obi a on ye campaign no ya against yen. Yentume ne sankrofo no entweman so. Ade a Nyankopon aye aman no. Se ye de ni nyina to ho. Ne yekohwe obi a na oni na chese yen kura no yen ade na Nyankopon aye na ensom ye bo. Election ye over. Ye win election no. Omo ye for and omo ye against. Ye nyina ye gomuafo a ye pe gomua enkan ko. Enti no ehu be hia se obia de election no ebetu nachi ne ahwe ne ebe ya ye be alleviate ye ho like ye be yi ye ho efri ohia se sei ne ye nyina ye nkambom ne ne ohia enko ako ye ne ahokere enko ako gomafo ho akere mo ache dodo sami ne menua bia no ye ndis ne ye MPP ni be kontokwa de kam ne be bom ne yankuntie ohia ya ohia ho ehi papa enti ne ye nyina ye mbom ye bibia ade gomuaman ebeko nanim
onye busy
ya ye busy
abusia na akwakoye sei ni de ye ne honorable se de sa na ye be frɛ no honorable Kwame Asare Oben ye ne na bonkomo aka anade unim A+. One ye ne no abo enkomo efa
United Showbiz o menya nja ye
na me ba saa wo ho ana nka me be kan se more beba Saturday no nkomo ni nyina will be there.
Say your parliament.
Yes.
Omo kan se nyina na me de betra YouTube. Ghana fuei omo be wi amu me suba me de tikrom ha. Say nko a.
This time ni ona me question be na me say we independent candidate say e ko basa asem no e da ho he na be kwa kogina.
Me gina ne beboa Ghana.
Ye beboa Ghana.
Ena apart from ne beboa Ghana me gina ne beboa gomua.
Abusiafo yenya aboafo nkrato emra.
Le meilleur rasage de Brown. Un rasage exceptionnel pour une peau visiblement douce. Brown.
But we in the NDC was also able to argue some cases out and got them to back out. So they can. Based on if they decide to do their work well, they will be able to do, not allow the opposition, the government to, get everything to go through just like that. So I wouldn't say that it's going to be a rubber stamp parliament. But I can only say that the people of Ghana has given the NDC a majority to be able to reset the country. Ghana needs an urgent research. The status quo cannot continue. That is why we have this overwhelming majority with a big mandate. It's up to the NDC to use this majority well to benefit the people of Ghana. Nothing more, nothing less. Thank you for talking to us. So you just had Minority Leader Castle Atu Forson there speaking to us. But in the last 30 minutes, we've had quite a number of people joining us here. Still on the days, you can see former Deputy Chief of Staff Valerie Sawyer there. You can see Kwame Agboja also there on the days. Former Finance Minister Seth Stakpa is also here. General Secretary of the party, Fifi Kwete, is also here. But I've seen Seth Stakpa, former Finance Minister Seth Stakpa. Let's talk to him. Sir, you're welcome to Joy News. Tell me, what's the mood like for you, Mr. Tek?
Oh, it's quite ecstatic. I think it's a joyful mood here, and I believe that it's understandable. But there is You know, for those of us with our background, we also know the task ahead, the difficulty ahead. But nonetheless, I believe that there is an overwhelming, confidence repose, in the president-elect, former President Mahama. Yes.
As a former finance minister, I think it's also right for me to ask you this. The main issue that played out in this election, obviously, was about the economy and what people were feeling, in their pockets. John Mahama, once again, I've been asking this question over and over and again, but I still want to ask you. John Mahama has promised a lot of freebies. First-year students in our universities are not going to pay fees. He's promised to scrap a lot of taxes. You've been a former finance minister. Don't you get worried when you hear some of these things? Are you not scared about what is likely, to happen, especially when you admit that the economy is not in a better place?
There is a certain rationality behind the measures which are misunderstood. And let me explain the taxes. Up to 2016, we had levies which were brought in anytime we had to do austerity, and they were taken out. Secondly, when the value-added tax was introduced, about 18 taxes were subsumed, cancelled, and subsumed in a VAT. This included GETS fund. Actually, the GETS fund and the NHIL, which became straight levies, were part of the VAT. Now, the flaw in reintroducing many of these taxes is that you make it difficult for the tax regime to be administered, and you make it difficult for taxpayers to comply with the tax because it becomes very complex. If you have to account for 23 different, taxes, as His Excellency counted during the campaign. What we are talking about is going back to the rationalization of the 1980s and 90s under the SAP-ERP and making sure that the tax is dependent on the 4 pillars, which are income tax, VAT, tariffs or customs duty, and excise duty. These are the pillars of the tax regime. And if I may inform you that the tax to GDP ratio until 2023, when we entered the fund program, had been stagnant since 2015. That was the highest. And it tells you, therefore, that these levies and others that were introduced have rather made the tax regime less buoyant. Less buoyant in the sense that, remember that from 2017, we were supposed to expand the economy better and raise more taxes with 3 additional oil fields. Now, when it comes to the other measures, remember that it is this administration that also destroyed the buffers that were built to make the economy resilient. To your last question, now there is a rationalization, I'm using the word, advisedly, that is to take place with elementary, secondary, tertiary education in this country, right? Remember that our approach with a progressively free education was to populate the country with day schools, as is done in the advanced countries, where you debondinize as much as possible, of course over a transitional period. Therefore, you will see that if you expanded day schools into the communities, as Nkrumah did, remember, with his private schools, with his secondary schools, which of course had boarding, you will be reducing the cost of implementation of education. And it is with these savings that you are able, as the president explained, to help poor kids. What's the point in going to secondary school if you cannot, in the first year, enter tertiary until you are able to move on to the student.
Okay, so for the ordinary Joe on the streets of Accra and other parts of the country, I'm sure the question obviously on your minds right now is it possible? Is it feasible? Is it going to happen? All those taxes that John Mahama promised is going to scrap within his first 120.
I just told you. No, there were two groups of taxes. There were, to use the word, nuisance taxes that were to go in 120 days. The other ones will be phased out. Remember, we're also in a fund program, and we have to be sure. If you do it precipitously, you will end up, not having the. So there's a rationalization. There is a timetable for the immediate ones and then the other one. But let me also point out.
So it's going to happen.
Yes, it has to happen because it happened before, right? And for the ordinary man who is saying, how can you achieve this? Let us remind them that deficit was 6.1 under Mahama before it got to 15%. Debt was 57% under Mahama before it got, to over 100% with the contingency funds. Inflation was lower. Take all the indices, right? And therefore, what we are saying is that they were not the best, the ideal that we wanted to get to, but taking them back to that is something that was done, that was achievable.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure talking to you. You just had former Finance Minister Seth Tekpe there saying it is possible. It is possible to scrap some of the draconian taxes, some of the taxes described by John Mahama as draconian. We have also here with us right now the General Secretary of the NDC, Fifi Kwete. Let's speak to him. Mr. Kwete, we are live on Joy News.
Thank you very much.
Tell me, this time, the 2024 campaign, the NDC campaign, we saw a lot of retail politics. The campaign was decentralized, where we had the top brass of the party in different groups campaigning all across in different regions. Did this reflect in the numbers that you saw, in the number of votes that you saw?
Yeah, let me begin by first thanking the people of Ghana, and I'm sure my flag bearer will be doing that very appropriately very soon. But let me, as General Secretary of the party, express deep gratitude to the people of Ghana. As the General Secretary, I'm fully aware that this victory is not just a victory it's not just about the NDC. It's the popular will of the people. It's the voice of the people. And I want to, on behalf of the party, pledge that we will remain conscious of that and remain grounded every step of the way, and ensuring that we do what is right by Ghana. It's not a victory for NDC per se, even though, of course, NDC is in the forefront of it. It's a victory above all for the people of Ghana, and we want to remain conscious of that. And in light of that, to also apologize for some of the, should I call it, unbridled jubilation that happened in some quarters, and where some of our people have tended to take the law into their hand, and to simply, tell them that we are quickly coming to terms with that and letting them appreciate that it is about Ghana, it's not just about the party. Yeah, but the strategy, I would say, we needed to appreciate that in order to win, we needed to go just beyond talking to our own people. Just preaching to the same choir does not really bring exactly what we expect. So we wanted to reach Ghana in as much as we can. I would think that really has worked a lot. And the message has gone round, resonated, and the results has been overwhelming, way beyond our expectation.
What lessons is the NDC picking from what has happened, from this resounding victory? Obviously, I'm sure you're also picking some lessons from the camp of your opponent.
Yeah, the lesson is simple. And, this party was a party that actually was always founded on a certain clarion call. And that clarion call has always been that power belongs to the people. That's who we have always been. Over time, as a result of what I call the vicissitudes of life, the party own values have kind of declined a bit. But for quite a bit now, some of us have tried to instill back that consciousness that we need to reconnect back to the very popular will of the people. And the lesson is simple, that any party that does not understand that power belongs to the people and only they decide who leads, that party clearly will face the tsunami that MPP faced. So it's our responsibility to constantly retrace our path back to the original quintessential values of our party, which is about anchoring everything we do on the will of the people, showing them the respect, appreciating that they are not fools, they know what is right, listening to them, and being able to tell the truth. Even when we are wrong, being humble enough to accept that we are wrong in order to be able to do what is right. That's a lesson. And MPP unfortunately felt that the politics of deception, the politics of arrogance, the condescending politics that makes you want to lie to people thinking that they are not smart, you can lie to them, you can deceive them, you can gaslight them. At the end of the day, they've come to know that you can fool all the people sometimes, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. Reacted with what I call volcanic eruption, very similar to the kind of volcanic eruption we've had in the past. And I'm hoping to God that for the sake of our democracy, MPP will learn its lesson very, very seriously. NDC, of course, will be guarded, and the country becomes the better if all the key political parties appreciate the need for that humility and appreciate that ultimately, even though power comes from above, power is always deposited in the masses and the people of Ghana.
Thank you for talking.
It's a pleasure.
You just had a general secretary for the NDC. Fifi have equated there. But still on the days, you can see the top brass of the party of the NDC. Up there, you can see former Chief of Staff, Julius Debra, interacting right now with former Chairman of the NDC, Samuel Ofosu Ampofo. Seated closely to them is Professor Joshua Alabi, who was the chairman for the John Mahama campaign. Behind them, you can see Edward Omadebuama, director of He's there with the chairman of the NDC, Johnson Esiedun Ketia. Also there, it's Valerie Sawyer. We'll be interacting with Dr. Omadebuama shortly. They're still waiting for the arrival of the President-elect John Mahama.
It's a day full of excitement. So at this stage you can dance. As we wait for our father, the President-elect, to get here.
We'll also interact. Let's show you what is happening here. So that's what you see on the days, but also party supporters gathered here, waving flags, waiting for the arrival of John Mahama. You welcome to join us. What's the feeling like for you right now?
It's a good feeling. Winning this election in such a manner, landslide. This is what Obama called shellacking, landslide victory. And for us, it's a demonstration that the people of Ghana cannot get destroyed with. That our democracy must be sustained. That when officialdom become arrogant, the people of Ghana will teach you a lesson. The MPP government became just too arrogant. Let's face it, you take the pensions of people, you take their bonds, and when they cry, you refuse to listen, sending many of them to their graves. And as we speak today, many of them. This is something that an NDC would never.
Data-driven analysis to show you what each vote means for our nation.
From the campaign trail to voting day and the final declaration of results, Channel 1 Television is covering it all. We'll be on the ground in all 276 constituencies, so every voice is heard and every community represented.
Our comprehensive election coverage brings you every key moment and every voice, with updates from all stakeholders.
The inclusion of the outstanding constituencies would have given the leading candidate 52.13%, which is still greater than the 50% plus 1 required to be declared a winner. And so even with that scenario, he's clearly the winner of the 2024 election. In the light of the above, ladies and gentlemen, I have the singular honor as the returning officer of the 2024 presidential election to declare His Excellency John Dramani Mahama as the winner of the 2024 presidential election and the President-elect of the Republic of Ghana with a total percentage of 56.55%. Congratulations, sir. It is finished. Thank you very much. Accountability, inclusiveness, and responsiveness are the heart of all our operations. And I can confidently say that with the help of God, we have fulfilled these aspirations and the expectations of the citizenry. We have conducted elections that are credible, fair, transparent, and peaceful. Elections that have ensured that the will of the people as expressed at the polls. The elections that have guaranteed that every vote counts. As a country, we take pride in the fact that our electoral processes, initiated since 1992, uphold and guarantee the voter's choice. We take pride in the fact that the voter's choice, as expressed at the polls, is sacrosanct. Ladies and gentlemen, the last 4 years have been spent in injecting and infusing 4 key elements into every aspect of our work. And those elements are transparency, accountability, responsiveness, and inclusiveness. As such, we started the year poised and ready to conduct credible elections. We were conscious that elections were an event and not a process. This resolve led us to undertake several transformational decisions, including the re-exhibiting of the Provisional Voters Register for the first time in our history, when concerns were raised about its credibility, as well as opening up the IPAC meetings to the citizenry by allowing the live coverage of all IPAC meetings. Indeed, the decisions to re-exhibit the Provisional Voters Register to allow a further review by political parties and the citizenry, as well as the demystification of the IPAC meeting, has helped diffuse the tensions that were brewing around the Provisional Voters Register. Ultimately, those 2 decisions restored the confidence of the citizens in the Voters Register and cemented Ghana's peace. Again, in the spirit of responsiveness, when complaints were made about the 50 persons charged voters for the verification of their registration details online, the Commission waived the fee and allowed voters to verify their details at no cost. In line with our determination to ensure the credibility of the 2024 election, when the Commission received information of the leak of a single defaced ballot paper, the Commission acted swiftly and destroyed ballots for both Western and Eastern regions. This bold determination and this bold decision was based on our determination to uphold the integrity of the election at all costs. In less than 1 week, the Commission printed new ballot papers for both regions and went on to successfully hold the special voting 2 days ahead of the main election. As a Commission, our singular message to our teams at all levels has been clear. It is that our mandate is not to make anyone a president or a member of parliament, but rather to conduct and undertake credible and transparent elections and electoral processes which uphold the voter's choice and lead to acceptable and peaceful electoral outcomes.
This is the Election Bureau. We're still bringing you special coverage of the 2024 elections, matters arising following the election. We're taking you to the office of former President and President-elect John Dramani Mahama, where our correspondents Fauzu Masawudu as well as Akosia Ochre are stationed. Guys, if you can hear me, welcome. I can see you in my shot. What's going on now? Is the former president ready?
Of President-elect John Dramani Mahama, the extent and the pomp and pageantry you are seeing here all points to one thing and one thing only: the unprecedented victory of presidential candidate for the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, in the 2024 general elections. Well, the president-elect will be here in a bit, but we see here currently some notable figures in the party. I'm here with my colleague Akosua. We've seen the likes of Honorable Okuchetu Ablakwa, the fifth heavy general secretary for the party, and others within the rank and file of the party. And who else do you see around?
All right, so let me talk about the crowd that we are seeing behind this barricade that the police have put in place to ensure that there's adequate security on the ground. So there are hundreds of supporters behind the barricade coming all the way from different constituencies, different regions to adorn this particular premises, the private residence of John Dramani Mahama. And there are hundreds of members of parliament of the NDC, parliamentary candidates who won of the NDC who are here. I can see the chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Johnson Esiedun Ketia, director of elections for the NDC, Dr. Edward Omanebuama. I can see Julius Deborah, former chief of staff. I can see the campaign manager of John Dramani Mahama.
The one who worked all these.
Yes, he's been with him throughout the country.
And of course, at the moment, the NDC and the voters who chose President-elect John Dramani Mahama is finally here. The NDC presidential candidate and now president-elect for the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, will be making an entry here at his office in Cantonment in a time. Has not happened in the Fourth Republic before. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, John Dramani Mahama will be making an entry here at his office where party supporters and party executives have drawn to be part of this historic moment. It's an electrifying atmosphere. Well, 56%. John Dramani Mahama, many have described his victory by and large and as unprecedented, and so to speak. Well, and I would say that John Dramani Mahama denied Baumia every opportunity at the presidency. Over 56% is unprecedented.
I mean, when you listen to the conversations with supporters of the NDC and even some who are supporters of the New Patriotic Party, that they say that they are disappointed with the party, it tells you what they have seen in the last 8 years under the leadership of the NPP. Well, according to them, the NPP have failed to address key issues like corruption, key issues like running a family and friends affair. And so to them, this is the right opportunity to bring on someone that they believe can change or reset, in their own words, the country. And so for the numbers that we saw of 56%, it tells you what they want to see in the country, a change in government for that matter.
Right, and I find this really striking because John Dramani Mahama throughout his campaign mentioned that he has friends in the NPP who tell him a time without number that they really want Baumia to lose this election so they can put their party in order. And Peter McMenu, when I spoke to him earlier at the National Coalition Center, that was way before the final declaration, he mentioned that a possible defeat for the NPP could offer an opportunity for the party to reassess itself and correct its wrong. And I'm tying this with the submission you made about persons within the NPP who, for some apparent reasons, were disgruntled. And for Baumia to have even lost in Kennedy Japan's constituency as Senator tells you some form of acrimony within the party. But it's about John Dramani Mahama this evening. So John Dramani Mahama ran his campaign on a number of promises, but key amongst them was the 24-hour economic policy. Do you think that really wrecked the magic for John Dramani Mahama?
I think that let me talk about what you said earlier, that John Mahama said that some friends within the NPP wanted a change so that they can, fix things. I mean, it's something that happens. I mean, when you look at the political dynamics in Ghana, you know that everything.
Oh, Ghana needs a change. I am sorry and
to win the numbers is what is reflecting, and so it is normal. It's an 8-year trajectory.
Let us rise for a change. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we all remain standing? Shall we rise to our feet?
To change the dynamics in our economy, and so to them, that is what they want to bring on board.
Yeah. So the moment is finally here. Flags are flying high, handkerchief visibly in the air. President-elect for the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, just arrived at his office in Cantonment amidst pomp and pageantry. Party supporters.
John Mahama is here.
Persons within the rank and file of the party are here to witness this historic moment. I mean, it's really, really ecstatic over here. If you look at the numbers that are on displays, it tells you how much people happy with the persons within the NDC and voters in general who chose John Dramani Mahama over Bawumia have been waiting for this golden moment for them.
Yes, and if you look at the numbers here, it tells you that John Dramani Mahama is someone that is loved by the party. I mean, when you look at the party itself, I mean, it tends to the leader. I mean, when you look at Jerry John, the late Professor Jonathan Mills, I mean, he was loved by the people. I think it's because of the charisma that he carries. And when you look at his arrival and the whole euphoria, I mean, it tells you that picture where the NDC supporters do not, play with. And he is accompanied by his children. There's Had, there's Shafiq.
I think that has been the sweetest icing on the cake for John Dramani Mahama, if you ask me, to see, because people have make this argument that we see politicians, we see people following them, and we do not see their children or their family directly involved. I think that John Dramani Mahama has kind of changed that narrative this time, if you ask me. We saw Sharif single-handedly touring to campaign for his father. We saw his elder brother doing so. Even Farida, who seems to be the younger one, we saw Farida following her father on his campaign tour.
I mean, yeah, what you're saying is the truth, but when you look at former presidents like Jerry John Rawlings, you look at John Ajekum Kufuor, their children have been involved in their campaigns at a time when they were, contesting the flag bearership and the presidential race. And so John Dramani Mahama is not the first person.
Absolutely, but
children of Jerry John
Rawlings, even Kimati this time around seems to be. But I'm saying that, I mean, for instance, during the time of Jerry John Rawlings, I'm not sure we saw the likes of actively involved following her father, like we are Sharaf and Sharif doing this time around for John Dramani. That's the premise for my argument, really. But a lot of young citizens came out this time to also vote, and we saw the conversation on social media platforms like Twitter, which is now X. People, I feel that the introduction of some obnoxious, as described by the NDC, taxes like that of on betting, lottery in general, profits, and even e-levy. I think that contributed significantly to the NPP's loss. And the politician and the NDC, from where I sit, I think they did a good job in drumming home that message.
On the lighter note, if my mom, my parents, they used to say that we, did not experience the John Kufuor time, the Jerry John Rawlings time, and so we are the Gen Zs.
Right.
So what we came to meet was the John Mahama Kufuor, tenure. But on the lighter note, I think that the youth align more with the policies coming up, even not just for John Mahama, even for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Yes, so that is
John Dramani Mahama. He's so we can confirm now that John Dramani Mahama has just arrived at his office here in Cantonment. He's expected to deliver his first address as the president-elect. Just so you know, John Dramani Mahama won the 2024 presidential election with a landslide victory of over 56%. And many persons have described it as him denying flag bearer for the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, every and any opportunity at winning the presidency. The NDC has also won a decisive majority in parliament. So this is a very historic moment for the NDC, the John Dramani Mahama faithful sympathizers of the umbrella fraternity. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama again has arrived here and is in the company of his family, his wife, Excellency Ladina Mahama. And I thinking she is also in here. So this is the scene here at the cantonment.
So that is what you see in your shot. John Mahama arriving here at his private office, clad in white, and of course Ladina Mahama, his wife, putting up a smile, wearing a smile, sitting on his right-hand side. If you are into the biblical teachings, then you say that he's sitting on the right-hand side of God the Father, the Son, and the Almighty. But yeah, that is what you see in your shot. And then the General Secretary of the party, Fifi Fiavi Kwete, also seated on the right-hand side of the President-elect John Dramani Mahama, and the soon-to-be Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, that is in the person of Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. Well, she has come under heavy criticisms by some members of the New Patriotic Party when she was announced as
acknowledge the presence of all branch executives who are here.
John Mahama. Well, some said that she was old enough,
executives of the NDC who are here,
not fit
national
for
executives
that position,
of the NDC
but
who
yeah,
are
that
here.
is her. Well,
We also recognize the leadership of the
also
NDC
here,
parliamentary group in
shaking
parliament.
hands with
We recognize the presence of the MP for Tamale South, Honorable Harry
and that is
Yusuf.
the minority leader,
Honorable
soon to be
Kwame
the
Agoja, we see you, we acknowledge you.
Dr.
Former Deputy Chief of Staff, Dr. Valerie
well,
Sawyer.
if I remember
We
or
recognize your
recall
presence, Dr.
during
Manebuama, our
the
elections
last
director.
hours of John
Recognize
Mahama's
your
campaign,
presence.
he mentioned emphatically that with the chaos that is happening in Parliament,
Recognize the presence of
he
Dr. Kesela
has no words to give or say, but rather wait for the election when the Vice President and flag bearer of the NPP will get to see his smoothness level.
In december 21% BTW cadeau voor al onze klanten. Ixina, ja aan je dromen.
Hiroshi. Discover our soothing vanilla orchid collection in-store and on our website.
Recognize the presence of the former Speaker of Parliament, the Right Honorable Doe Jaho. Recognize the presence of all Council of Elders and members of the political committee. Recognize the presence of all former appointees, and we specially recognize the presence of the Chief Executive Officer of the great NDC, our General Secretary, Honorable Fifi Fiabikwete. We also recognize specially the presence of our National Chairman, General Mosquito, Honorable Johnson Asiedun Ketia. We recognize the presence of the manager of John Mahama's campaign team, Professor Joshua Alabi. And we recognize the presence of former Chief of Staff, Honorable Julius Deborah. All dignitaries and leading figures of the party are hereby acknowledged. All elected members of parliament on the ticket of the great NDC, we acknowledge your presence. At this stage, we are going to start our program. And so I'll crave your indulgence to be decorous so that we can begin. And to set the ball rolling is a man who has been very instrumental in the campaign leading to the victory we are celebrating today. Our national chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, with a rousing round of applause, welcome to the microphone our national chairman, Honorable Johnson Asiedun Ketia, to give us brief remarks. No, I can't hear your shouts. I can't hear your applause. General Mosquito is coming. This man went to all the 276 constituencies of Ghana. He went to over 1,000 communities. He's our national chairman, and we are proud of him. Another round of applause for him as he climbed the stage. Thank you. Shall we all remain silent now?
Your Excellency, Your Excellency, the President-elect, President John Dramani Mahama, Your Excellency, the Vice President-elect, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, all protocols duly observed. I believe that today is the day of President John Dramani Mahama, and there will be no space for long speeches at all. So I've just come here to thank all of you and thank the foot soldiers of this party, the branch executives of the party, the constituency executives of the party, regional executives of the party, and the national executives of the party. And by extension, to all previous executives of the National Democratic Congress. As I said in Medina some 3 days ago, I believe that the party has never seen this level of total mobilization of its rank and file to fight and achieve a purpose. And at long last, the battle has ended. And the great elephant has been slaughtered mercilessly. But as we enjoy the victory, I want to specially mention for special commendation the technical staff of our headquarters, who managed this election very, very successfully. I mean the directors of elections, the directors of IT, and all other persons who played a role in managing this election. Let me advise that we should be modest in our celebrations, because I can almost feel the weight of responsibility on our shoulders. Ghanaians have given us this mandate to accomplish the task of national reconstruction. And so nobody should tell us the weight of responsibility that we have. We cannot afford to disappoint them. So in the coming weeks, let us try and cut short our celebrations and begin planning seriously how to rescue our dear country. I thank you very much, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make it great and strong. Thank you.
Thank you, General. A round of applause. A round of applause for the National Chairman. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Distinguished friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Akatamansonians, it is now time for us to hear from our mother, a woman of substance, a woman of valor, the pride of the Ghanaian woman, a woman of great accomplishments, the first female vice president-elect of the Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency, Professor Nana J. Opoku Ajema. Let me hear your shout. Let me hear your shout. The women here, let me hear your shout. It's a great day for Ghanaian women. A great day for Ghanaian women. Yes. Yes. Our mother is here. Give it up to our mother again, Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajeman.
What an interesting journey it has been. And you know, nobody sets out on a journey by herself or even by himself. It has been a very, very interesting one. And I want to thank all of you, those who are here, those who are not here. I want to thank all of them for their good wishes, for their prayers, for their contributions in many, many ways, and for bringing all of us to this site. All I have to say is thank you very much. Thank you very much for everything you have done. And whatever you did, as our chairman has said, the fun is over, the work is about to begin. And as we journey together, we need to realize that we have to move forward also together. Again, I want to thank you. My nomination has many, many implications. You know, normally, no one even expects you to err in any way. If this will happen, and we know it will happen, it means all of us are on board. The victory is for all of us, but especially for our daughters, for our youth, for our women. Sorry I have to appear in a mask because I have a very, very bad cold, but the cold will disappear too. I know this is a big responsibility, and I don't intend to travel this journey by myself. You are all part of it. NDC is an inclusive party, and we are demonstrating it in many ways. My job was to have opened the door, and it doesn't end there. Actually, that is where the work began. Hold the door, sort of hope of opening the door, a method of holding the door open so others wish to travel that door is what I'm implying. It is not a self-aggrandizing position. It is a position that empowers others. This country is not going to be built only by half the gender. They know very well, whether we are in the public space or not, the roles we play. And we have accepted as NDC to facilitate the process. I'm counting on all of you, that you all come along, you all work hard in your various spaces, and finally, that we put smiles on people who either have no access or who are not very respected. I thank you again and again, and I know, thank you for the comments. I wish blessings on our country. I wish blessings on our children, those who are here and those yet to be born. I wish blessings on those who are here and their future. And I believe that the meaning of blessing is to be good to another person. Thank you very, very much.
You can do better than that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Shall we all remain silent at this stage? We've gotten to the moment we've all been waiting for. We've gotten to the moment we've all been waiting for. We've gotten to the moment we've all been waiting for. Our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who has served this nation throughout his life. A man who served as president of the Republic of Ghana between 2012 and 2016. He was voted out, and some said he could not be president again. Some even mocked him and said he is the only person to have become a one-term president. But ladies and gentlemen, today, the Lord who crowned kings has given him the presidency again. And the stone that the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone. It is the doing of the Lord, and it is marvelous in our sight. We call him the nation builder, and this nation builder will lead all of us to build the Ghana we want together. With a standing ovation and shouts of joy, make welcome to the microphone our father, the flag bearer, and the leader of the great NDC, the president-elect. Excellency, His Excellency, His Excellency, His Excellency, His Excellency, His Excellency, let me see your hands. His Excellency, His Excellency, His Excellency, His Excellency, His Excellency, His Excellency, John Dramani Mahama, the President-elect of the Republic of Ghana, the sixth President of the Republic of Ghana, Ikami. Our unity. His Excellency is accompanied by the incoming First Lady, our Mother, Her Excellency, Lordina Mahama.
Thank you. Thank you. Our best days are ahead of us. My brothers and sisters, a while ago, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Ghana, Madame Jean Mensah, declared me the winner of the 2024 presidential election. I give thanks and praise to the Almighty God, because this successful outcome can only be the doing of the Lord. I'd like to thank the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, for his statesmanship in conceding the declaration of the results by the Electoral Commission. This concession largely diffused the tensions that are characteristic of high-stakes elections such as this. I also just received a call from His Excellency the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. He graciously extended his congratulations to me, and we had the opportunity to discuss matters related to the Joint Transitional Team. We agreed on an early inauguration of the Joint Transitional Team as early as Wednesday, the 11th of December. I conveyed my sincerest regards to him and expressed my readiness for us to work together to ensure a smooth transition in the best interest of the Ghanaian people. The results of this election, as declared today by the Electoral Commissioner, show that the National Democratic Congress, with me, John Dramani Mahama, as leader, has just chalked one of the most emphatic victories in the electoral history of the Fourth Republic. We have therefore been bestowed with a very outstanding mandate by the good people of Ghana. I'm deeply honored and humbled to receive such an overwhelming endorsement from the Ghanaian people. And I wish to thank all who made this possible by going out to vote for me. I thank all Ghanaians, both at home and abroad, for your continued belief in our democracy, despite the severe crisis our nation is going through. I also congratulate our parliamentary candidates who have also swept the electoral landscape with a very resounding victory. I have a legion of thanks to give for this emphatic electoral success. And let me begin again by thanking the Almighty God, the creator of heaven and earth, for protecting and preserving us through this whole campaign period. And to paraphrase the psalmist, I also give thanks to God for preparing a table before me Obviously, you are all very acquainted with this Bible verse. I also give thanks to God for preparing a table before me in the presence of my enemies. And for anointing my head with oil. And making my cup run over. I next have to give my thanks to my wife Lodina, and my family, my children, my siblings, and all my extended family for standing by me through all these difficult times. When victory and success appeared elusive and out of sight. On these gloomy occasions, you have all come through and offered me the encouragement to keep soldiering on. I'd like to thank the Vice President-elect, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, for being an exemplary and inspirational running mate. Nana, your decency, your humility, and your sense of responsibility added so much to this campaign. The eyes of every young girl and woman, not only in Ghana, but in nations across this continent and the world, are going to be on you from today. And as you said, you have not only opened the door, but you're going to keep the door open for many other women. Your name has become synonymous with breaking boundaries. And like I said, you have opened the door of opportunity for many of our female citizens. Because of you, the people of Ghana can today celebrate the fact that we have made history by electing our first woman as Vice President. I must also thank my very loyal and dedicated staff who have been with me over the last 8 years in opposition for the sacrifice and hard work they have put into this endeavor. To my campaign team members, to our party agents, and the countless volunteers who spent uncountable hours day and night working to secure this victory, I cannot thank you enough. To our Council of Elders, the gallant leadership of the National Democratic Congress, led by Chairman Johnson Asiedu Nketia, our able General Secretary, Fifi Fiavikwete, and our general membership, I'm deeply grateful for your dedication and commitment to this cause and your willingness to give everything to ensure success in this election. To all the religious leaders who prayed for me, and there are too many to mention, at the appropriate time I'll acknowledge them individually. To all the religious leaders who prayed for me, to all the prophets who prophesied my victory, to all the civil society organizations and professional groups we consulted in building our message, to all our traditional leaders who warmly received me in your palaces during the campaign, to all our security personnel across the country, and to the media, to you all, I say a big thank you. To Mrs. Jean Mensah and her staff of the Electoral Commission, the IGP and his Election Security Task Force, our international observers, and all who have contributed to a very successful election, I convey to you the warmest wishes of a grateful nation. For all its historic undertones, this mandate represents many things for all political actors and those who seek to lead our nation. It shows that the Ghanaian people have little tolerance for bad governance, particularly of the sort witnessed in the last 8 years, and that they are willing to take decisive action at critical moments when it matters most. These 8 years have witnessed some of the darkest periods of our governance. The crisis our beloved country has been through these last several years have left a scar on our national psyche, which may take some time to erase. This mandate also serves as a constant reminder of what fate awaits us if we fail to meet the aspirations of our people and govern with arrogance. My brothers and sisters, there is much to do to salvage our country and reset it. It would have to start with a reset of the relationship between citizens and elected officials. We must never forget that the people of the journey is not going to be easy, my brothers and sisters, because the outgoing government has plunged our dear nation into an abyss. However, we are determined to work together with you to build the Ghana we want, and I am certain that we shall win the battle. We intend to work together to restore the shattered confidence in our politics and governance system. This election and its outcome represents an opportunity for a new beginning, as we can begin to write a new chapter of our collective story. We need to consciously set the tone for the new direction in which we'll be traveling. My brothers and sisters, I want those words, my brothers and sisters, to be a reminder to all of you, a reminder to me, and to every individual who has just been elected or re-elected, that no matter what office you hold, no matter what your political affiliation is or has been in the past, the one thing we share in common is the nation Ghana. And it is that we want a much better Ghana. We want a Ghana that works for everybody and not just a few people. We want a Ghana that considers the well-being of all her citizens and affords them each the ability to live a life of dignity, a life of limitless opportunity. My brothers and sisters, from the Kaya Yo to the managing director, to the market women, the bankers, the teachers, security personnel, nurses, doctors, the pastors, the drivers, the tailors and seamstresses. We are all essential to the functioning and forward motion of this country. We, the people of this soil, sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, are in fact our nation's greatest resource. This country, this land, is not for one person or for one family or for one tribe or ethnic group. This country, this beautiful, resilient and resource-rich country that we so love, Ghana, is for all of us. This is our home, but it is not enough to just be born here and to die here. We must also be able to live here with satisfaction. We must be able to love, to dream, to laugh, to eat and dance and drum and share all aspects of our culture that was handed to us by our ancestors. And to do that, we must create sustainable and well-paying jobs through the 24-hour economy initiative. Our most basic needs must be met. Affordable housing and health care, food and clean water, safe work and fair wages. My brothers and sisters, it is with tremendous humility that I accept this clear mandate that you, the good people of Ghana, have given me to lead this great nation as your next president. Every vote that was cast in this election carried the same weight. Every vote also carried a hope in the future of our country. I promise you that I will assemble and lead a government that will carry the weight of those hopes and dreams, whether you voted for me or not, because every victory is a victory for the people, all of the people. Each time we have free and fair elections and then conduct a smooth transfer of power, it reaffirms that our history of leadership and trailblazing was not an aberration. It is not by accident that we were the first nation in Black Africa to win our independence from colonial rule. It is not by accident that the first black person to serve as UN Secretary General, the late Kofi Annan, was a Ghanaian. It is not by accident that so many Ghanaians out there in the world are blazing new trails and being recognized as leaders in their industry. Despite being a relatively small nation, Ghana has been and will continue to be a mighty force on the world stage. We are a proud people and have every reason to be. When Ghana rises, we all stand tall with her, and Africa rises with us too. Last but certainly not the least, I'd like to thank you, the good people of Ghana, for this opportunity once more. I know that many of you are feeling frustrated and angry, but I ask you today, please do not give in to negativity and pessimism. There have been reports of acts of vandalism at some government facilities and installations. I urge you not to vent your frustration in criminal enterprise. We must channel our anger and frustration into the positive enterprise of resetting and rebuilding our nation. Let us be brief in our celebration, for the weight of office will be an onerous one. Expectations of Ghanaians are very high, and we cannot afford to fail them. Let us maintain and even magnify this joy and positivity that we feel. We have arrived at this moment because so many of you believed that change was possible. And now we know that not only is change possible, but it is also already in process. Let us continue to believe that we are already moving towards the Ghana we want, the Ghana of our hopes and dreams. And in this Ghana where we have turned a new chapter and are setting a new tone, our best days are not behind us. My brothers and sisters, our best days are ahead of us. Forward ever, backwards never. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless our homeland Ghana. Thank you very much. God bless all of you.
Give it up, give it up, give it up to His Excellency. One love, one love, one love. One.
All right, episode 4. Yadamasi, Sir Munyadaji, and I'm going to show you. This is the President-elect speech from His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. On the Sabre Ghana 4. Atwabadamani Somaye. Your company from 2025 to 2028. And honorable your company. Now remember, another father, the president has issued a statement. Yeah, so. Yeah. So, I was for I just want to say thank you very much for watching Danko Kuyabwa TV, and that's it, TV, all of you watching us as well. This is the end of the live streaming of the press release from the president. Oftentimes, when I put the number there, people will ask me my personal number. We person be only medium come ABBR. I think that now man the pick calls and sometimes yeah, that's all phrases were it's very difficult for you to get me because that number is just only on WhatsApp, and sometimes I don't even get close to that phone number, and because I receive a lot of calls. But my personal number is 0240 634009. I repeat myself, 0240 634009. That's my personal number. If you want to reach out for any business connection, any advertisement, anything, just give me a call or text me. It's also on WhatsApp. Just link up with me. Let's do business. But for the meantime, you can see your vice president-elect, Esiedin Ketia, on the dancing floor, dancing. And of course, I could see the smile on the face of the First Lady, Lordina Mahama. Of course, this is something you have signed up for. So there's nothing we can do about it. So congratulations to John Dramani Mahama, the second coming John Dramani Mahama. And the association football, one thing I've noticed is that second coming of some coaches are not good. So a lot of people are saying that, you know what, the second coming, besides, you're not coming back again as a president per our constitution. But now that you have 2/3, you can even amend the constitution right now to make it maybe 16 years or 16 years or 12 years. Because now you have over 185, you need 2/3, and 185 is over 2/3. So you can even do everything without NPP getting involved. And this is how bad NPP have sunk. Forgive me with my wrong English. Why? Me the mentor of Mr. Inti, me the master brain said, "Debi amoya daje na mashe danko Kuyabwa TV." I've seen all your messages. Let me say thank you, Beatrice, Asare, Prisla, Whisper, Christiana. I've seen all of you. All that I want to say is that God bless you. Thank you very much for always making time to watch Dan Kweku Yeboah TV. And there was also a live on Dazi TV as well. I mean, the massive break, say munya daji na mashayin. Aja yami aduma, ibesenshia dafofro. Ya frame Isaac Dazi. Misansi subiem se, so person ni medium komo business biya frame 0240 634009. Idini ya Isaac Dazi. Me body na come because we are person sending momo tap send ni NG pay ni sano na what I say mo say hey mo try kakra. Ntenu idini ya Isaac Dazi everything over there. Thank you very much. Congratulations to the NDC fraternity. Now he's a president-elect. He's not a president for NDC. He's a president-elect for Ghana.